Hi everyone. Sorry, a little late than usual. I always start 5 minutes early. I didn't today. In fact, I'm about a minute late. Had to take the girls out. And my new adoption dog is down in the garage right now. He's getting fixed now Thursday instead of Wednesday. The doctor had to cancel, but he's going to get fixed Thursday, and then he'll be in the house with us for at least a while. He's an outside dog. Hi Matt, hi Ben, hi David. I'm just waiting on some people to roll in here. Let's see here. We currently have 3 people watching. It doesn't seem right. But yeah, I wonder if people have not gotten the notification. Let me see if there's. Let's see here. We'll see if some more people roll in here. So, how are you guys doing today? I hope the sound is sounding good. I need to turn these speakers off. Ugh. I got the notification. That's good. So at least I know the notifications are coming out. Whew. You're quite welcome, Matt. Sorry I couldn't stay very long. I had to go to bed. It was a long day yesterday. So, it's good to hear you're doing good. Good to hear that Ben's doing good. I'm doing well. I'm doing quite well, Ben. So today's live stream is just another Q&A. I don't have anything planned. I will be live streaming some interesting things in the future, but currently I have nothing to live stream and nowhere to really live stream it and do it at the same time. Plus I'm watching all 3 dogs while Jess is at work. So it's I'll tell you, it can be a handful having these 3 and soon 4 in this house, and I'll have to take care of the 4th one for quite some time. It's going to be fun. I got the Hackintosh working, by the way, but Multi-Beast won't install any drivers, not even Clover. Yeah, that's something that can be a headache. If you sweet talk Colin Mister, he might help you out with that. He worked on my Hackintosh, which I still haven't filmed. I did film building it, though. That's kind of a giveaway. I built it on camera back in, when was it, October? And it's a Hackintosh running High Sierra plus Windows 10. And it performs quite well, but Colin could not figure out how to get Clover to boot off of the actual hard drive. No matter what we tried, we even tried different ports. He kept remoting in, changing everything. I even have a recording of it. I'll include in the future video on it. Really exciting to watch him work remotely. I mean, everything's just flashing on screen like this. Everything's moving around really fast. And he can set up a Hackintosh remotely in like seconds. It's amazing. But he couldn't get mine to boot. And I think we narrowed it down to just the BIOS just doesn't like it. I don't know. Some people have managed to get it with that board, but I couldn't. So I just boot off the USB. It works totally fine. It's got all the hardware recognized and running on it. It just kind of sucks. I have to have a USB stick sticking out the back of it all the time. But what can you do? Hi, Steve. So it looks like we're starting to get people rolling in here. 9 people. Awesome. So anyway, after today's stream, don't forget about David's giveaway going on his Blue Yeti USB mic. I've got a link at the very beginning of the chat. At the end of the stream, you can go over there and check it out for me and sub to him. Help him out. It'd be really, really awesome if you could. Hi, Bruce. How you doing? And let's see if we can get them up to 50 subs really fast. Hopefully we can get them past that. So, yeah, get on it, guys. Anywho, so this thing's been streaming with no drops over Wi-Fi because I can't wire in here. Over Wi-Fi for 6.5 minutes. It's not bad so far. It's just using 16% of the CPU on my Mac Pro. Everything looks pretty good. When are you going to get another tripod to use, like when you unbox your EMAT? Thank you, Steve. You know, over here I don't have any of my filming equipment. It's all next door, and I unboxed that kind of upset also. So I'm extra shaky. But I have another tripod. My dogs are out of water. I just refilled that. I'll get it in a second, sweetheart. Anyway, I do have another tripod over here, but I have no mounts for it. So I'll be right back. I gotta water my dogs. Here you go, sweetheart. Be quiet. All right? Love you. Good girl. You know, I just remembered that I forgot to turn the computer right next to this microphone off. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but I'm sure it's annoying. Let me fix that really quick. I have to switch monitors. So we're going to be going dark here. I won't be able to see anything for about a minute, but I'm here. Just give me a second. That's the problem with setting this all up late. You forget to do things. Shut down. All right, let's switch back over to here. I need to get a KVM over here. There we go. It might be a little more helpful there. Oh, all right. Sounded like an AC unit. Yeah, it's one of the computers in the house. Ooh, it's dusty. It folds 24/7 right next to my Mac Pro. So, yeah, I've been doing quite well, Aaron. Where'd my mouse go? My mouse isn't working. Oh! There it goes. Yeah, I've been doing quite well. Let's see here. I couldn't tell that you were upset by the way you had the knife and threw stuff around. Yeah. What? The thing keeps rolling away before I can actually read it. Everything he needs, wants, and matters is next door. Unfortunately, Grudy never actually goes next door to do any of his filming. Yeah. Let's see here. Hi, Jay, by the way. My BIOS doesn't support AHCI, so I have to boot from the external drive. I'm going to buy a USB header to USB port and plug the drive internally that way. It's a dirty hat, but it works. Yeah, that's one way to do it. I might do that to mine, come to think of it. Taj just got new earbuds. That's awesome. Christopher, I recently learned that many of the new Mac games available on Steam have not been updated to 64-bit, including the ones from Valve. What do you think this means for the future of Mac gaming? Everyone's going to be stuck on Mojave. Actually, they'll either have to update it or, well, it's going to really hurt a lot of things. But then again, Mac gaming in the future is probably going to be mostly App Store based, I think. You'll be downloading them from the Mac App Store. And And Steve says, I think Valve is just lazy. Shush! Sorry. I think Valve is just lazy, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Ben, you're a mini DVA, and DVI to VGA is probably just messed up. It happens every once in a while. Just try to find another one. You'll probably be fine. Either that or your port's a little dirty, and you can just compress air it and see if that helps. How can I watch this live stream on my G5? You need the H.264 plug-in for Tin4 Fox, and then you can do it. It will do it. It better be one really highly clocked G5 though, because these live streams can really, really hammer a G5. I'd love to have a second generation shuffle dock, but I don't even have a second generation shuffle. My shuffles collection consists of the first generation and the first generation. I've got two of them. I thought that was the neatest one because you could just plug it in and use it as a flash drive, which was cool. I would like to get a fourth gen though. Those were pretty nice. The thirds are junk. Second gen's okay. Let's see here. Yeah, fill up with the Tin4 Fox. Like I said, it's an H.624 plug-in. Let's see if I can find it real quick. I'll just link the link to you. Let's see here. Tin4 Fox. Let's see here. And H.264 source forage folder, copy, paste, enter. That should take you directly to the downloads for either the G4 or the G5 version. So, phone battery's dying, be right back. Oh, Steve. Oh, no. Don't be barking, girl. There's nothing going on out there you need to be barking at. We live in the middle of the country. In the middle of nowhere, girl. There is literally nothing out there other than deer. Cut it out, okay? Good girl. Yeah. Anywho, let's see here. Been watching this on my iPad running iPadOS 13.4 Dev Beta 1. Awesome. I'm actually a developer also. I don't have a new iPad that supports iPadOS. My iPad is a Mini 2, and my backup one is a Mini 2. I inherited well, I wouldn't say inherited. I got handed down to me from my girlfriend another Mini 2. So I've got two Mini 2s. And she has the new Mini 5, which I bought her for Christmas. So she can run the betas. I can't. Liam, I've watched quite the few of your videos, and it has helped me tremendously to recall a time flashing firmware on the 4,1 and 5,1. I admire your dedication. Keep up the great content. Thank you, Liam. It means a lot. And I also need to do an update video on that particular thing, because a lot of people are having problems flashing the 4,1 to a 5,1. And I've learned from other viewers that it's as simple as updating the 4,1 to the latest firmware first and then flashing it. And then it seems to work. So I've got to add on to that video in the future. Yeah, iPad mini squared for sure. I've got 2 second generation minis, so I technically have a 4th gen, right? Gotta go because dinner. I'll see you later, Taj. Cool, Taj, about the mini. So we'll see you later. So guys, this is, let's see here. We've been going 16 minutes, 13 viewers. Welcome everyone. And this is a pretty boring stream so far because people aren't asking questions. I literally have nothing I can show you guys right now that I can think of. I will be doing a video coming up soon. I bought that 2009 MacBook Pro from Jay Vry, the 13-inch that I showed in my, towards the beginning of my tour video. It was like Mac number 15 or something like that. Ooh, I have a lot of those, don't I? That system is currently the very base model. It's got 2 gigs of RAM, the 2.26 Core 2 Duo and stuff in it. I will be upgrading that for a video to give it to my uncle, who has been using my laptop that I had in 2007 new and stopped using by like 2012. He's had that since like 2013, and it is in really bad shape. So I'm giving him that MacBook Pro, and I'm upgrading it to the 9s with an SSD, 8 gigs of RAM, and a whole new battery, which is sitting over there. It should be a fun video. It's just a normal old, let's upgrade a MacBook video, but it should be fun. And I'll be filming that whenever the RAM that I bought on sale from eBay gets shipped and gets delivered to me. I've been waiting since the 8th on it, and I'm getting a little mad over it. In fact, I'm about to petition eBay over that because, you know, saving $10 on RAM still doesn't mean I don't want it like a month later. You know, I'd like it now. So, yeah. When are you shipping out my stuff? I keep forgetting, Jay. I'll ship it out to you. I've got to find a box that can fit everything in it, because we're talking about a whole liquid cooler plus 2 CPU cards plus a Sonic card and a iMac G5 PSU and a bunch of stickers. And it's all got to get to you in one piece. Well, in what condition they're in a few pieces, but still, by the time you're done with them, they'll be in one piece again. I don't want them to be in more pieces. So I've got to find a good box for that. So any eMac specific plans in mind? When I bought that eMac you guys watched the unboxing on, I was planning on doing a lot of things with that, and I still do plan on doing a lot of things with it. But I actually found that, I think my dog's about to start barking again. Don't you think about it, Starla. Good girl. I had a lot of plans on that system because at the time, as my learning was, it would be the most powerful OS 9 supported AIO. Well, that's officially and unofficially, because that one still needed some modifications, but the hardware originally was fully supported. I wonder if I could flash the ROM for that somehow. But it still runs OS 9 with no other hacks other than the iMic ROM. I was going to do a lot of things with it, but I found out that the very next model, the very next model, which I'm starting to hear dogs starting to get mad again. Cut it out, you two. The very base model of the, well, it's not the base model. I guess it's the high-end model. The one after mine, the second release of mine, the 2004 model, the 1.25 USB 2.0 model eMac, not the 1.42, which came out a little bit later. I don't think they were both out at the same time, but I'm not totally sure on that. The history on eMacs are kind of weird. But the 1.25 model with the Radeon 9200 graphics in it is also, believe it or not, 100% OS 9 capable with the iMic ROM, an extension to keep it from going into sleep mode, and a hacked driver for the GPU. And that would technically make the fastest fully supported AIO Mac for OS 9. And I'm going to take it a step further, because that was the first model that also supported DDR RAM. You can go up to 2 gigs of RAM. And we're going to make it into the world's fastest eMac with the help of Colin, because it's apparently got 7447s in it. It's kind of like, actually all the hardware except for like the sound chip is exactly the same as in a Mac Mini G4. So it's got the 7447 G4 in it, which we can put a 1.67 in it, and just leave it that way. And other than the people that overclocked like 1.42s to 1.67, we could leave it that way and it would be the fastest. But we're going to try to push it up to 2 with a 7447 and make the world's first 2 gigahertz eMac. That's also OS 9 compatible. I think that would be awesome. It wouldn't be the most powerful graphical wise, because the 1.42 comes with the 9600 in it. But what can you do about that? The 9200 graphics will still work totally fine, and they're OS 9 compatible. We'll make the world's fastest eMac. I don't know how long it's going to take. And I've got to actually get one. Michael Stanhope has one he wants to give me. I'll be probably taking that off of him eventually. I'm going to see actually if he can ship it to me, because I don't know when the next time I'm going to be up in Pennsylvania is. And he can also try to ship my iMac to me too, which would be cool if he can do that. I need to ask him. But that's my future plans with some eMacs, and it's going to be fun. Let's see here. I saw Trina. Hi, Trina. Welcome to the stream. Do Cinema HD displays work with Hackintoshes? Yes, they should. The should work fine. I use my Cinema HD display on a PC every once in a while. Same hardware, and it should work. I don't know why it's not showing. Can you not lock out your dogs? What do you mean, Trina? They're free to do whatever here. And trust me, they'd be even louder if I'd be putting them in a room. I was hoping they'd fall asleep like they usually do when I'm live streaming, and they haven't yet. Let's see here. Geez, you have quite the following, G. Yes, I do. Yes, I do. For sure. And I'm very happy. Thank you, everyone. Nick, I am fashionably late. There hasn't been a whole lot going on yet, so. Stuff a G5 into an eMac? I figure that's what you mean. I don't think that's going to work. Stuff a 1.5 mini into it, that would work, but no. Make it a lot better just upgrading the CPU. As you can see, he's not bleeding, so you've not missed anything. Yeah, basically. I'm thinking of getting a G5. I have a friend selling one locally, but honestly, I have no use for it. You can find a use for it. If you can get it cheap enough, yeah, it could be worth it, because if you watch some of my videos, there's a lot of things you can do with the G5. Ooh, Nick, I snagged a second G5 yesterday and an ADB draw tablet. That's cool. The eMac, it's a PowerPC all-in-one similar to, but not the same as an iMac. Exactly. The eMac, the very first eMac actually was an iMac with a CRT on it. The 700 and 800 first ones before the ATI graphics, it was similar to the 15-inch first generation iMac G4, the GeForce MX2 in it. All the same hardware except it had a CRT sitting on the top of it. And then as the iMac continued getting NVIDIA graphics, eMac switched to ATI graphics and got more and more powerful than the iMac G4. But it is quite similar. Stuff a PowerPC 601 into it. Yeah, no. Let's see here. Do you know any way to fix your Gemini's touchscreen? Actually, yes, that's a good question. I haven't opened it yet, but I've been looking online on how they're actually assembled, and it will still open up like a clamshell with if you remove 4 screws, which I probably will be doing on camera. I haven't backed it up yet, by the way. It's been locked away in a very safe spot because I haven't had time to back it up. But once I back it up, I will be trying to fix the touchscreen, because if I'm very lucky, it's just the controller board for the touch has something burnt out or something disconnected. And if that's the case, Starla, shut it! If that's the case, girls, go to sleep. You're always asleep at this point. I don't know why they're up. But anyway, this here, Gemini touchscreen. So the controller board, I've been looking up. I haven't actually seen it physically, but I think I know what the controller board is. And if it's what I think it is, it's an off-the-shelf part, which was sold years after the Gemini was finished being built. And they even have the drivers for it still on the manufacturer that bought the original company out. On their website, the drivers are still there. I have them downloaded now. But this board was made for so long that you can get them, they're still kind of pricey on eBay, but you can get them on eBay. If that's the problem, I can literally just swap out the board and it should work, hopefully. So I can get a board for like 60 bucks, which is a lot for a little board that's about this big. But if that's the case, I swap out the board, the touchscreen might start working again, and that would be the easiest repair job on something that rare. And I hope that's the case for sure. Hi, sweetheart. So that's how I plan on fixing it if that is the problem. Ooh, I'm glad I got in with the girls when I did, because it's pouring rain now. That is a strong sounding storm. So anyway, are you going to go collect any clones yet? I have one, Nick, you know that. It was even my tour video, my UMAX Super Mac S900 that Steve found about a year and a month or so ago online. I bought it because it was local, and I went and picked it up. And the only thing keeping me from actually doing a video on it is the SCSI drive has gone bad in it. And I've been too lazy to buy a SCSI SD for it, or put one of my SCSI 68-pin cards in it and a 68-pin SCSI into it. But it works otherwise. It's just the hard drive itself might actually still be fixable if I took it apart, but I don't know. It was running 8.6 the last time I tried to get it to boot. It wouldn't fully boot. But who knows? I might be able to get the drive to work. Sorry, girl. I didn't realize you were right in front of me. I just kind of knocked her in the head. Will you two please lay down and go to sleep? Anyway, so yeah, I do have at least one clone. I'm going to probably collect a few more in the future. I have a lot planned for that one. I'm going to be converting it to a G4. And I have all the parts for it too. But I have to get it running first. That would be fun, definitely, to get it to be a G4. And run Leopard on a clone. Not many people have done that, and that would be fun too. So... Philip, I'm watching the stream on the G5 now. Thanks, Greg. You're quite welcome. Pretty neat, huh? Let's see here. I still have this weird distaste for the eMac. I've seen them around for as long as I can remember. I just resent them. I'll be honest with you. I've always called it one of the top 5 ugliest Macs ever built. But actually owning one personally and actually playing around with that neat little swivel stand, it's won me over. I'm actually looking to buy a few more in the future. It's still kind of ugly, but it's got a charm to it. And you don't really see that charm until you actually own one. It's going to be an addictive system, I think. It's going to be fun to collect a few more there. They look like giant nibbly teeth. I mean, if someone offered one for $5, especially with the tilt stand, I'd buy it. But yeah, Aaron, like I said, it's once you own one, you understand why everyone loves them. Now, how can I get the chat to work? Philip, it should, in theory, just work. It might lag behind a lot. You might have to refresh the page. You might have to actually restart the system. But it should, in theory, work. It works fine on my iMac G5, the fastest, slowest. I watched a live stream on it, and it skipped every 100 frames or so. It would skip, so it'd go, you know. And by the time I gave up on it, it was like 5 minutes behind on the stream, and I'd only been watching it for 6 minutes. Like I said, you need a really high-powered G5 to watch live streams. That thing couldn't do it. But the chat kept loading with no problem. Yes, the clone is all your fault there, Steve. The Gemini is such a weird system. I'll never likely see one in person, so I'm enjoying the videos on it. That's how I felt. I never thought I'd see one in person either. I never thought I'd see one that was at least semi-affordable and complete. I've never seen one complete in my life, not even online. The websites where I've been learning stuff about them, we're looking at systems that literally do not have the complete setup. And that's the first time I've ever actually seen the stand on one. because the stand was taken off on them for some reason a lot. Um, it's the first time I've seen a complete system. The only thing it literally is missing is the software on it. I cannot believe I found it. I cannot believe it was that cheap. So, yeah, I know how you feel there, Aaron. Find a Daystar. I'm looking for Daystars. I'm looking for a lot of them. Steve found another one that I bid on. But yeah, I didn't win it. Can't remember who made it. I think it was Samsung. I can't remember, Steve, who made that one. It was a Japanese exclusive clone, and it was very rare and being sold in the U.S. And it went for massive quantity of money. I just wasn't feeling comfortable spending that kind of money on something that hard for one thing to even power, because you probably still, I don't think it's a switching power supply, so you'd have to have a step up converter, 100 volts to 120, so it'd be step up, and it sounds like a nightmare, honestly, to power. But if I could have gotten it for a good price, it would have been Pioneer. Steve said Pioneer. Yeah, it was Pioneer. And I'm a huge Pioneer fan because I'm a Laserdisc collector. So I really wanted it, but I wasn't about to spend that kind of money for it. It went for, I don't remember how much, but I stopped bidding at around 300 and something, because it was just getting way too high for me. Ah, Philip. I got it, Greg. I had to switch the user agent to the default one. Yeah, there you go. Yes, getting 9 on a clone is a challenge enough, but you can do it, and you can get a lot more than that with a proper CPU upgrade. Aaron says, I remember when the first iMac G4, I thought it was the ugliest thing on earth. Well, ugliest thing, but over time it grew on me, and about a year I had one, and it was one of the funnest, coolest systems Apple ever had. I agree for everything except the ugliest thing. I always thought it was beautiful. And the very first time I saw one, believe it or not, was on that comedian had that TV show. I am blanking on his name. George Lopez, the George Lopez show. They had one on the TV show in his kitchen, I think it was, for a season or two. And I thought it was some kind of prop. Back then I didn't know anything about Macs. I thought it was a prop. I never thought it was a real thing. I thought someone had made it. I don't know why they would have done it for a joke, a comedy show, but I thought it was just some kind of prop. That's the first time I ever saw an iMac G4, and that was probably 2006 or so. I had never seen one before then. And then I found out about them, and just, I was amazed by the design. I fell in love with the design, even back when I was a PC guy. And I didn't see the value of them until I was a Mac collector. But I always loved the design. I made a lamp out of one. It was broken. But it wasn't worth saving at the time, although now looking back, it probably could have been saved. But it had a broken LCD and a bad hard drive and a few other things. I made a lamp out of one. I always thought it was a beautiful design. I still have that lamp. It's my bedroom lamp. It's still sitting at my old house. I haven't moved it yet because I have a feeling by the time I get it back here, it's going to be in multiple pieces. But it has to be rebuilt anyway because it's getting kind of weak. But iMac G4, first time I saw it was on the George Lopez show rerun. So Steve says, no, Japan's electronics should work on our system fine. I don't think they will, Steve. Because I know for a fact that the Japanese Laserdisc players have to have an up converter transformer because otherwise you'll blow a hole in them. So I don't know, unless it is a switching power supply, I don't think it is. It would need some kind of adapter. I'd love to find a quad Daystar, Nick, for sure. It would be really neat. I'd like to actually, I want to find a 9600, a good one. And I've been tempted on if I could find one, because they had the dual 9600. I think with the Daystar cards, if you could find them, I think you convert it to a dual, a quad too. It'd be really neat. And a neat little trivia thing there for Daystar. The dual 9600 was the very first Apple Mac with a dual processor in it. And it wasn't even an Apple developed processor. They actually licensed out the dual processor card from Daystar. And if you look on the Apple official card, it says copyright Daystar blah 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 on it. Pretty neat little trivia there. Beatbox's Seinfeld theme. Exactly. That's the first time I ever saw a TAM on TV too. Was from Seinfeld. And there was rumors that was actually really Jerry Seinfeld's TAM, because he was a Mac guy. All those Macs that were on the show were his, from what I've heard. Check your Discord, Rudy. Why am I checking my Discord? Let's see here. Let's see here. Well, where am I checking it? Nice face, Rudy. Thanks, guys. Yeah. So anyway, it was funny. Let's see here. Yeah, Japan is split, if I remember correctly, it's 240 and 100. I think that's right. And 100 would have been probably what that ran on. 240, you can literally just plug it into a 240 outlet with an adapter. In fact, I think Linus Tech Tips, you might be able to actually get away with it, but I only have two 240 outlets in this house, and I'm not plugging one in, trying to run a computer in my washroom. But Linus Tech Tips plugged their Chinese TV into a 240 outlet. That was a fun video there. Yeah, Japan is split. The northern half, I think, 60, and the bottom half is 50 hertz. And it blends into each other in the center. It's really weird. We'll see you later, Ben. Yeah, we have a Discord. I have a Discord, which I never promote on my channel because I never get on it. And then we have a MacYak Discord, which I can actually get you a link to really quick. If you want to talk to me or anyone else from MacYak on there, Warm Freeze, we can do that real quick here. You'll have to read everything on the screen and type in something and hit enter before you can see all the other channels. But yeah, let's see here. Invite link, never expire, no limit, generate, copy. Paste. There you go. You can join our Discord there. Greg, are you going or have photos of the fan you install in your G4 Cube? David, I think I have it in my video on my Cube, which was in season 2 of the PowerPC series, I think. I think it was season 2. It was towards the end of that season. It was like episode 17, I think. I'm really good with numbers, memorizing numbers. I think it was episode 17. Check it out there. With the G4 Cube, there is a fan header on the logic board itself. I actually wired mine into the Molex connector on the optical drive. But what you need to do is, it was built and designed for 15 millimeter thick fans, but you can fit a full-sized 80 millimeter, 25 millimeter thick fan like I did by just bending the brackets backwards a little bit and sliding it in. It still fits fine. So 80 millimeter, 15 millimeter thick, or 25 millimeter thick, you'll be all set. It works quite well. Yeah, yeah. I've never watched Curb Your Enthusiasm, but I know for a fact about Larry David, and he also likes Macs too. Yep, Philip, your test type went right through it. Worked great, man. Hi, UF George Fonseca. Sorry if I said that wrong. Welcome to the stream there. Let's see here. We've got 19 viewers now. This is awesome. We've been going for 46 minutes. Cool. Regarding your eMac, Greg, are you going to source on 1.42? Maybe, but like I said, I'm making the fastest one out of 1.25, so I still have OS 9 support. But I might make the even fastest one. It'd be the fastest OS 9 supported one and fastest OS 10 supported one. I might make one out of that too. Make it with a 4778 and a bunch of hack firmware and stuff, and see if that works. It could be fun, but I'm not in the market for a 1.42 currently, just the 1.25. The Molex would be, I wired it into the 12 volt line on it, if I remember correctly. Molex goes, what is it, ground, it's 5 volt ground 12 volt, I think that's how Molex is, and I think I wired it into the 12 volt. I think that's how I did it. Wolf & Co. Hey, this may have been asked already, just joined, but what is your favorite Mac and why? I've got multiple favorite ones. You can't just pick one. It's impossible. Tower Forum would probably be the, I answer this question almost every live stream. But Tower Forum 1 would probably be the Power Mac G4 Quicksilver, because it's just a timeless, beautiful design. It's so gorgeous. It's always been my favorite design for a tower. Desktop wise would be the iMac G4, because it's just so iconic and so, it tilts perfectly. And this is just for the PowerPC Macs. It's so neat how it swivels and stuff. And then, titanium laptop. And then for modern day Intel systems, my number one favorite would probably be what I'm streaming on right now, which is 5.1 Mac Pro. It's an awesome system that seems like it will never die. Even after Apple's dropped support for it, it's still running the latest OS with no problem. It's just you got to patch it now. But it's just a bulletproof, powerful system there. Let's see here. Okay, Aaron, I'd be curious what the temperatures differences of the CPU with and without the fan are under load. Hot versus not quite as hot. Unless you're actually probing the die itself with some kind of thermometer, you can't really find out what the temperature is because there's no thermal sensors you can actually read on a cube. But trust me, you need as much air as you can because convection cooling was a stupid idea. And I know why they did it because Steve Jobs wanted a convection cooled Mac again. Just like the iMac G3 slot load, which also baked itself. Trust me, you want to put a fan in because it does help. You can feel the heat rising out of mine a lot more with a fan. Plus, mine's a dual because I converted it with a bunch of pennies and used a what was it? A gigabit Ethernet Power Mac 450, a dual 450 card in it to convert it. You need a fan. It's going to really prolong the life of a cube, and it will keep you from melting things like the CPU or logic board. So, yeah. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm sure the 1.42 is pretty rare in the UK because from what I can tell, they mostly sold them in the US. There's probably a big surplus of them here. And I don't think any of them were really sold to education. That's the other reason why they're so popular. The 1.25s are so popular in the UK because they were probably the education model. The 1.42, I doubt many schools bought because it's just kind of overkill. So, oh, thank you, Steve. Thank you for the super chat. When will you recap your Macs or send them here? I don't know if I'm actually showing this on camera. Wait a second. Here we go. This is 2 orders of iMac G5 caps here. I'll be recapping the 1.8 on video eventually. But I've got to get flux and probably some better solder. But definitely flux. I don't have any flux. So yeah, I'll be recapping soon whenever I get around to ordering the flux. Oh boy, let the blood flow. Exactly, Jay. So, my favorite Intel Mac is the 24-inch 233 with the 7600 GT. It's a pretty neat iMac. I don't have the urge to own any more white iMacs, honestly. But they were pretty neat back in the day. It's just the 7600 after line, there's no driver support for it. It sucks, honestly, because it had some potential and power in that card. Aaron says his favorite Intel has to be the 2010 Mini. Well, I'm sure it also helps that you own one. I think you own one. I might be getting people confused now, but I think you own one. But yeah, it's a neat system. It's the last Mac Mini to have an optical drive too, which was nice. What is the best place to buy capacitors? Mouser or DigiKeys, like Steve said. I actually bought mine. This is a pre-built kit from China on eBay, which it's really freaking cheap. But these are supposed to be, I hope they are, Japanese caps. So I should never have to recap the iMac ever again. At least in the next 20 or 30 years. So I might not have that iMac by then. You know, I should probably invest in a desoldering gun too, because through hole and me with desoldering is not good. I suck at desoldering, especially through hole. I'm going to need something really good for that. Yep, exactly, Aaron. Um, you can run Catalina on it too. It's just not through Patch Mojave. You can run Catalina, I just wouldn't. I run Mojave on mine too. I've been on the lookout for a good in-depth video on OS 9 or earlier. Any recommendations, or would you ever do one in the future? Something that will explain hardware limitations, extensions, etc. I should do a video on that sometime. I've done videos running OS 9 on many of my PowerPC series videos. I've covered a lot of things about OS 9, but I've never gone into deep detail about it because I just never. I'm still myself learning a lot about OS 9 and how it works. And honestly, 8.6 is the best of the classic operating systems. It was the most stable and it ran on a lot of systems. And it is just altogether a better operating system and it supported a lot more programs. OS 9, when it came out, broke a lot of programs. And the only way to fix some of those programs is if the developer released patches or extensions that fixed the problem. Like some of my childhood games from Humongous Entertainment will not run in OS 9 and it will not run in classic mode without the Humongous Entertainment extension that fixed some kind of launch problem, which also still will not work in classic mode, so you have to run it in OS 9. So 8.6 was still better, but most systems that supported classic that were PowerPC, G3 and on, only supported 9 or later. And only ones that supported 8.6 would have been the 604 systems and the early G3 systems and the very early G4 systems like the G4 Graphite. Those supported 8.6 and that was it. Anything after that was cut off. It started with 9.04. A 9.0.4. A lot of them shipped with 0.4 instead of the original build of 9. So, yeah. The Voozers asked, have you got a decent stable G5 2.7 yet? No, I haven't. My tower is still broken, sitting next door. I've got to pull the CPUs out of it and send them to Jay. He's going to try to revive the thing, but I think one of the CPUs may have fried. Hope not. But I do have two more 2.7s, which I got for $60, which are in worse shape and still connected to the liquid cooler and coated in crystals. It's in bad shape. So I'm hoping he can fix all 4 cards. And if he can fix all 4 cards, I'm going to be converting a mid-2003 tower into a 2.72, which in theory you can do. I want to try it. It'd be fun. And then I'll have a originally liquid-cooled mid-04 through early 05 model and a originally liquid-cooled dual 2.0 as a dual 2.7 mid-03, which I think would be fun. When's the iMac recapathon? Not coming anytime super soon, because like I said, I need to Well, actually, I really should practice first. I'm probably not going to because I've soldered a lot in the past. I just suck at it. But I need to get desoldering equipment and flux. I have everything else. I have the same stuff that Steve and Jay have. Jay actually recommended it. GT has it too. Jay recommended it to us all, and I've never really gotten to use mine other than to melt a few things. I haven't actually used it yet, so we'll have to get on to that. Is there a Mac that you're really keen to add to your collection? The 9600 Tower. That's the only one I'm really looking for still, is the 9600 Tower and the M5445 monitors, the 15-inch LCD studio displays. I want all of them. The original one with the rainbow logo, the Azul Blue, the Blueberry model, and the graphite logo. Color model. I really want those. I missed the original one complete on eBay. It just got too expensive for me. It had everything that came with it, and it still kills me I missed that. But I want that monitor so badly. I want the whole set for that one. The other two, I can just have the monitor itself. I'd be happy. But I don't really want a TAM, Nick. Sorry, I was looking at Steve when I read that. I don't really want a TAM unless it's been one of those G3 converted ones. Honestly, it's in my top 5 ugliest Macs ever, and it's so fragile. It's so fragile. The CD drive the door always snaps off on those things, and you got power supply issues in the subwoofer, and the plastic's starting to get brittle on them, and it's just, I don't want a TAM. They're too expensive, and I'll never use it. Every Mac I buy, I do use in some aspect, some way, shape, or form eventually. And I'll probably never use a TAM. It's just, I don't want one. Unless I really start getting into 68K collecting and stuff like that. Basically, I've always collected from G3 and on. I don't really have many 604E back. So I don't really want a TAM. Unless I found one. If I found one really cheap and it was in decent shape, I'd go for it. But I'm not spending any more than maybe $400 or $500 on one, and they go for a lot more than that. So heat well, solder once. Exactly, David. That's exactly how you need to do it. Thanks for the info. I'll look into OS 8. Yeah, just like I said, the newest system that supports 8.6, and you want to use 8.6. The newest system would be G4 Graphite Tower. The AGP Graphics, I think, is the last model that supported 8.6. So G3 Blue and White, all those will run 8.6, although you need the build specific version of them, so you need the original discs too, which you can find online, so it's not that hard to do. Are you interested in Amigas or just classic Mac? Classic Macs. Amigas, the only thing Amiga that I deal with is MorphOS, which I've tested a few times. I'm not paid for yet because it's system specific, and I have too many systems. I'm not paying for it 1,000 times. Plus, a lot of my systems have been upgraded to the point where it doesn't support Amiga OS. So MorphOS, it's the only Amiga thing I've done is playing with MorphOS a little bit. You know, Steve, we talked about trading my Super Mac for a 9600 back in the day. I'm not doing it anymore. You missed your chance, man. Uh, I'm keeping the Super Mac now. Let's see here. I'll only be using it on G3s, but you also got to remember a lot of G3s were built after the G4 system, the AGP graphics. Like the G3 slot loads, I think were the first ones that needed slot load iMacs, were the first ones that needed OS 9. I don't think they supported 8.6. So you got to keep in mind it all cuts off at the end of roughly 1999 production. So anything built into 2000 and later, it's OS 9. Yes, it was a very odd choice there, Aaron, with the PSU and subwoofer. Really weird design. Really, really weird. Okay, good night, the boosters. Have a sleep well, man. I figured that when you said you were going to upgrade it. Exactly, Steve. You're not getting it now. I'm also got to figure out how to get the faceplate back on it because the hinges are broken on it. This is why we need an OS 9 or earlier video. Yeah, I'll work on one. The thing is, making a video on OS 9, because I'd focus on 9.22, which can run on any 604E and later CPU, up to the 7447 G4s with the right hacks and stuff. And the 604Es, you need to hack it with a OS 9 helper. I think that's what it's called. But it will still run it. 9.22, thanks to OS 9 Lives, continues to make more and more G4 systems that never support OS 9 support OS 9. So making a video on it and what's supported and what's not would be very hard. It'd be very, very hard. Okay, Steve says, yes, yeah, come to think of it, 8.6 was on the first lot load, because that came out in summer 2000 iMacs and later were at 9, yeah. Because the very first, the 5 flavors, the continuation of the 5 flavors, which were the slot loads, the very first ones came out in late 99. So if it's one of the first 5 flavors, colors, blueberry, tangerine, lime, strawberry, I forget what the other one is. Grape. If it's one of those, it will run 8.6, but you also need the installer disk that came with it. Balls, my G3 is a summer 2000, sorry. Yeah, so, yeah, you're not going to get it. Yeah, your chants are a little late there, guys, because I already said grape. And it's funny, because I can't believe I have a grape. White G3 iBook, nope. That was 2001. Too new. Let's see here. The very first clamshells support 8.6. The second generation clamshells don't. So, you're late. How long? How is that? I think the texts are coming in slower than the stream is apparently. After getting the GPU driver working, the cinema display shows up. That's good to hear, Matt. All right, see you later, Steve. Enjoy eating. The streams probably were in soon, so thanks for joining if you don't get back in time. Well, dark mode, 9.2.2 is still a very good operating system. Like I said, it's not quite as stable. It had more features than 8.6 and some more streamlined menus and stuff. It's still a good operating system. Every Mac that I run that can run 9.22 runs 9.22. Um, and every Mac that I own also can dual boot into 8.6 usually too. One of my clamshells runs 8.6 and 922 and Tiger. Um, so you can triple boot it, but 9.22, other than the fact that some programs just will not work in 9 for some weird reason, they changed something with how the extensions worked or something. Um, if you look around, you might be able to find patches to fix those programs. And it still will run most programs, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Run 922. And you can get the 922 Universal. I use the Universal 2013 from OS 9 Lives, which I downloaded from Think Macintosh Garden. It will work with any system that supported 9.22. And it will also work with any unsupported system with the iMicROM. Usually, that can run iMicROM. So yeah, you got G3s. All G3s that I can think of support OS 9. So just run 922 Universal 2013 and you should be fine. It will work, it will boot up, it will install, and you can get it online really easy. David, my Ruby iMac slot load runs 922 Tiger and Leopard when I get the upgraded board back from Colin. So that means that you actually downgraded the board in the Ruby? Because I think the Ruby came with the later 750E or whatever it was called, CX, CE, CE, which was a totally different pin layout. So you downgraded the board to upgrade it to a G4. It sounds like something I'd do. I'd definitely do that. That's interesting there, David. I'm still waiting. I want to see how that comes out for you. All right, we'll see you later, Nick. Thank you, by the way. Let's see here. Aaron, on about 922, I'm still waiting for OS 9 Lives to release because they could probably do it. They've been compiling it for years. I want to see them release 9.3. I mean, Apple's not going to do it. OS 9 Lives probably can release 9.3, and that should fix all the stability issues. We've been on 922 since late 2002, something like that. And other than minor improvements done by OS 9 Lives, it's still got stability issues. Your Wi-Fi is delaying the comments. Is it really that bad? Let's see. I'm going to refresh. I hope this doesn't cancel something. Let's see. It's loading back up. It still says your Wi-Fi is delaying the comments. So, no, it's not that bad. Are we talking about how delayed it is or 922? Because it still works pretty nicely. Well, guys, I'm getting tired. 8:45. It feels a lot later than that. Let's see here. Sounds like my Dane's waking up. I don't know what she's doing. Zena! I guess she was repositioning herself on the couch. So anyway, I don't know. I guess we can keep going if we keep chatting here. I was paid to troll you. Carry on. See you later, Trina. It's 7:45 here. Okay, so you guys are Central Time. I'm Eastern Time. I'll get back at you, Jay. You just wait. So anyway. Any other questions, guys? We can keep the stream going if I keep getting questions. If not, I'm going to probably wrap it up soon. Damn Easterners. See, Matt's an Eastern guy. So, well, I'll stick around for a few minutes and let's see if we get any more questions. Otherwise, I don't have much to talk about. I should just kind of wrap it up. What is your favorite 68K Mac? It's just my Macintosh Plus, my dad's one. Macintosh Plus is just because it's the first one I ever used. First Mac I've ever used, first PC I ever used was the Macintosh Plus. I have never really had experience with anything else. So I can't say anything else other than Macintosh Plus. By the way, the eMac you said I could toss, I gave it to Dana. I said I needed parts off of it, Jay. That's fine. It's totally fine. Dana will probably use it quite nicely. I hope he does some kind of video or something. That'd be kind of neat. So now I can knock my Mac collection number tally down to 108, and it's about to go down to 107 once I get rid of that MacBook Pro too. So I gotta keep that in mind. Aaron, did the '08 MacBook winner claim their prize? Yes, Max did. His name is Max, and he is supposed to be getting it. It went through customs yesterday, I think he said, and is supposed to be delivered either today or tomorrow. So it's very early in the morning in the UK right now, so I doubt he's up. If it got delivered, I'm sure he hasn't. He might have already unpackaged it. I haven't checked to see if I got a message from him today. I have been chatting with him on Facebook lately. Let's see. Yeah, he hasn't told me he's got it yet. But yes, he did claim it. And so it should be there. It's in the UK currently. It just might not be at his house yet. He got his battery too. He got his battery like a week before the MacBook itself. He got that like the next day after winning. He claimed it. He gave me his address. I went on to Amazon UK and shipped it directly to his house. Yeah, I know, David. You have to have a G4 to run Leopard. But I was getting at the point that the Ruby had a later G3, which is not compatible with the 360 pin layout of the G4. So at least I'm pretty sure it isn't. What did your Ruby start out as? Let me look up some Ruby history here. Mac Tracker, which is wrong a lot anymore. Let's see here, iMac. Let's see here, Ruby was, I want to say, early 2001? No, that was the pattern models. Or was it? Yeah, there's the pattern models. Okay, it was the summer 2000 model. And it came with oh, yeah. Yeah, it would have been compatible probably because it would have been a 400 megahertz. I always thought those were more powerful systems. But it's literally just a October 2009 model. I mean, 99 model with a different case color. So in that case, I forget who was talking about OS 9. Let's see here, and 2,2. The model identifier is different, but the hardware is the same. So with a little bit of hacking, you might be able to. It might have been a different GPU though. Let's see here, 128 Pro, 128 VR. The Pro's very similar. So if you have a summer 2000, you might be able to run 8.6 on it. It's worth a shot. I forget who it was. Dark mode. It's worth a shot. If you can find the original installer disk for the 5 flavors, you might be able to get a summer 2001 to run. Maybe. I'm just saying maybe because I don't know. But it's interesting. So yeah, David, that's interesting. That I kind of want to convert one of those now because those are slightly better than the Blueberry that I'm getting converted. Let's see here. Aaron, if you're going with a 2011 Mini, if you want to run a later operating system like Mojave, you need to go with the Baseball 2.3 i5 because that's the only one without dedicated graphics. The integrated graphics will work. The dedicated graphics ones will not, and the ATI graphics suck and will die eventually. So you need the 2.3, but if you still want to go with the 2012, don't look for the quad cores. Go for the i5. The i5 is still pretty powerful. It's going to keep up there with the performance of the high-end, highish-end 2014. It still performs quite well. It's like the 4th most powerful Mini until 2018, something like that. It's got a lot of power to it. So if anything, look for the i5. Jay says summer 2000 iMac will do 8.6, so give it a shot and see if it works. Trying to make the fastest G3 to G4 slot load. Well, David, you will have the claim to the most powerful slot load G3 for quite a long time. I will tie you probably, just letting you know. But you will actually still have the most powerful one because you'll have the better graphics than mine. So, good for you. You're going to have one fun G3 there, which is a G4, but still. Great Q&A, Greg. Thanks for everything. Have a good one, guys. Justin. See you later, Justin. Yeah, the 700 megahertz graphite iMac. Those things are fun, but that's the later G3, so it would only ever be a G3 because the socket Although Colin was talking to a guy, and I talked to the guy too, who was thinking of trying to do some kind of converter thing that you could stick on the board and fit a. It's a pass-through converter to connect the G3 to the G4 to a later G3 board. We were theorizing it would work, but we never got it working right. Because I wanted to convert a clamshell to one of those, a later clamshell with the firewire in it. You can't do it yet, anyway. I don't know if they'll ever get that off the ground. That would have been neat. Hell yeah, Greg, you should do this more often. This is awesome. I I tried to do a Q&A once a month, which I failed at for the last, like, let's see here, 8-9 months. I tried to do it at least once a month, but I've actually been doing it more often lately. I've had a Q&A December. The giveaway turned into a Q&A in January. Well, actually, it was early February. It was February 1st. So I didn't have one in January. This is the second one of February, technically. But this is only the 9th official Q&A session. So, yeah, it's fun. I enjoy talking to you guys. Enjoy hanging out with you guys and talking about this stuff. But I am running out of things to talk about. So, let's see here. Aaron says, just you wait until I get an 08 Mac Pro coming for you 5,1 people. Okay, good luck. Currently looking for a 5,1 myself. Still use my 2,1. It's totally fine, man. I still use my 2,1 daily next door. Well, not for the last month or so. It's been down. But it folds 24/7 when it's running, and it still occasionally is a server. It backs up a lot of things I have in case I ever have some catastrophic meltdown with some of my backups. I have a second backup on that. Well, and I think a third backup on that. So 2,1s are still very useful. And El Capitan is still very modern. Even though there's no more security updates, it's still pretty secure, and it still works quite well. They're still making programs for it. It's still a good system. Folding on a 2,1, I'd hate to pay your electric bill. Honestly, it's not that bad. The dual quad 3.0s, their compute score sucks. But it's not that bad. Most of the power comes from my GPU, which I think currently what's in it is a 960. I think I'm running a 960, which is folding. And for a while there, I was folding with a 950 and a 960 in it, running both of them at the same time. It was fun, but it was only for a few weeks. I enjoy your streams personally. All the streams, really, including but not limited to the 8.5-hour recappings. That's Steve. I mean, I'm rocking a 2010 Mini, and 08 would make this thing scared. Yes, it would. It would. But still, it's still useful. It would run Mojave Catalina, but it's slowly getting long in the tooth. I'll even admit that. I still have a 3,1, but my 3,1, if you saw in the tour video, is in pieces because I saw no reason to rebuild it. It's the dual 2.8 quads, so it's an 8-core 2.8. It performs identically to my 2,1 because of the bus speeds, and for what I would be using it for right now anyway, I didn't see the point in running both of them, and the 2,1 is still in one piece. So I will eventually get the 3-color one running again. I'm probably going to end up sticking the RX 580 and my eGPU into that eventually, but not anytime soon. Because first I need the eGPU to run benchmarks and test it on the minis, which I haven't finished yet. Those videos, I need to do those. You're running Catalina on a what? Who's running Catalina? Catalina can run on a 3-color 1 Mac Pro, and you just need to use the patcher. Glad you didn't land on your laptops there, Matt. How's your iPod collecting going? It's going well. The ones you guys have seen on camera are the only ones I can find currently. I don't know where my other ones are. I went through my mother's entire house and I still can't find them. They're in a box somewhere. I have a ton of them, but I can't find them. It's starting to freak me out a little bit. Because a few of them are very sentimental to me. And especially my 5.5 gen video iPod I've had since new is in mint condition. My 5th generation I've had since new is almost in mint condition. It popped out of its case a few months after I got it and slid across blacktop once. It was on a hard case belt case, and the frickin' front of the case popped off and it just skipped down the driveway. But I had a protector on it, so only the edges of it got marred up. But other than that, it's in pretty good shape too. It's almost like new. And then, let's see here. I think my 7th gen my mom has. It's in a box. The 7th gen, it's a 6th gen. 6th gen, classic, the 160 gig. I think that's in mint condition too. It was always in a case also. But I need to find them. I don't know where they are. It's really bugging me. I went through my mom's entire house. I could not find it. My mom's house is not small. So it's going to be looking for a long time. Mint. I'm not kidding, Jay. There's not a mark on these things. Even my 1st generation Nano, mint condition, no scratches, always been in a case, always protected. No, you can't run Catalina on 2.1. You can run it on a 3.1. Yeah, 2nd gen Nano, I've got one of those. Battery works great in those things. I custom built mine. Mine is blue and black click wheel with an 8 gig board in it and blue with a black top and bottom. I call it the iPod Family Edition. I had a friend custom engrave it, and my cousin has the other one that I used from parts and made a black and white one for him back in the day, probably in 2007-ish, 8. Let's see here. It looks like we're getting close to the end here. I think my next video I'm going to film, I've got to film the prototype clamshell and get it set up because a friend of mine wants to use it in the future, so I've got to ship it to him. It should be some interesting videos he'll be filming on it. So it might be my next video. I want to do the iPod series and upgrade my 7th gen Classic to SSD, well, SD card. Um, that might be the next one I film because I want to get that done because I want to start using that iPod. I'm literally rebuilding my iPod that I built in like 2012 or 13. I built a U2 Classic out of official Apple parts, even the official Apple backplate from a 5th gen U2 Classic. And that thing got stolen out of my car about 2 years ago. And it still makes me sick thinking about it. And it's going to be a very long story included in that video. And now you can't find those backplates anymore, so I got this cheap Chinese backplate that's painted. It's not going to last very long. But the click wheel might be better than the crap one that I had on my other iPod. It was dyed red, and the dyeing was coming off on it. It was never a good click wheel. This one I think is actually really plastic, red plastic, so it should work better. But the back plate's not going to last long. It's cheap Chinese crap. But it was the only thing I could get real cheap. I need to get back on the iPod series. I also want to get back on the Oddware series because I got stacks of Oddware, but I just never have the want to film it. You have to really, I have to get in the mood to film something. And if I'm not in the mood for it, it takes me forever to film something. That's what happened to the Mac Pro series. I have no urge to do it. I got burnt out on the Mac Pro series, and a lot of people that started watching me was because of that. I need to get back to it because it is not a dead series. I can't talk myself into doing it currently. It bores me to tears to film. I really, really, honestly hate filming it. But it's also a very fun and informative series to a lot of people, and I understand that and want to keep doing it. So I will get back to the Mac Pro series eventually. The system I'm on right now, still running the original dual quad 266 in it, and we'll be doing a dual hex 3.3 in it whenever I get around to it. I got to get some razor blades. I need to delid some CPUs and stuff. That should be the next Mac Pro series video, actually, but I've kind of tucked myself into it. I've had those CPUs for like a year now, but this thing's been running fine the way it is, so I just never really went to do it. Getting back to the G4 Cube, what is the voltage fan header on the board? I don't know, David. I want to say it's 12 volt. Any fan you put in it will be a 12 volt, and it will run at 5 volt if it is 5 volt, but it will be slower. So I want to say it's 12 volt. It's a 2-pin. You'll have to adapt it to make it fit. And I'd hop on, if you're on Facebook, I'd hop on Facebook, go to the G4 Cube owners group, and ask around. I'm not really sure because I don't use the header on the board. Like I said, I wired mine straight into Molex. Yeah, it is weird they left the fan header in place, but you know why they did it? This is just a theory, but I think I know why they did it. When they originally released the Cube, it was an experimental, I hope people buy it in the market kind of thing. Okay? They were going to test the waters, and if people were actually buying it and wanting it, they were going to release a dual-core version. The dual-core version would have needed a fan no matter what, and I'm sure Jobs would have been really mad over that. But that's probably why they left the fan header on there and why they have the fan mounts in it, is because they were planning a dual-core version, but they never made it because it just kind of died. And it was suspended indefinitely, but never actually ended. So technically, the G4 Cube is still an active model in Apple's market. Their models is still officially an Apple model. It was never retired. So technically they could start production back up. They're not going to, but they never actually totally killed it. They just suspended it. So anyway, well guys, we've been going for an hour and 40 minutes. My streams usually go between an hour and 2 hours, and I'm getting kind of tired and bored. Not at you guys, but me, myself, I have bad ADD, and I'm getting very bored just standing here staring at a camera. Well, sitting here staring at a camera. I'll take a few more questions if you guys have it. Otherwise, I am getting ready to wrap up the video. I'm tired. It's been a long day. If I get a G4 Cube, I'll take it to the Apple store and be like, yeah, I have this old Mac and it's still supported, so can you fix it? There's a difference between being supported and it still being a product line. You gotta remember, vintaged and all that stuff, they're obsolete by year stuff. The last time they sold one was in 2001. So it's very, very obsolete. So they wouldn't give you support. But still, it's pretty funny. It's a funny idea there. Yeah, man, if you want to take off, go for it. Well, I think I am Worm Freeze. I'm getting tired. I mean, technically speaking, it's on their roadmap, so yeah, but you know, I just don't think they ever really realized they never actually canned it. But yeah, that's the reason why they left all that stuff on there, because they were planning on a better model. And they did technically release a better model. Midway through the Cube's run, they released a model that had, what was it? A DVD. It was, I want to say it was a Super Drive. I'm not really sure on that. But they had a DVD version, and they released it midway through the production run. They released one with a, I think it was a 25 watt more powerful power supply. 25 watt, yeah, it went from a 205 to a 230. Can't find those power supplies anywhere because they were rare. And they also released the option for a gigabit Ethernet module. The gigabit and 10100 Ethernet modules, the port is actually a separate module that clips into the bottom of the board, which is pretty neat. And the mid-production run, they released the gigabit. Those cards are impossible to find. I hope I can find one someday. See if Colin can mass produce them somehow. They're impossible to find, though. I've never seen one in the wild. A few people have thought they found them. They haven't. They are out there, though. It was actually a real thing. It's just the people that have them probably don't even realize they have it. But yeah. I would like to see the Genius help with that. Yeah, it'd be funny. What if they announced the final end for it? It would be interesting. I think they should. It would be interesting, for sure. Be like, I don't see this model on my iPad here. I'm calling Tim Cook. Yeah. So anyway, guys, I think I'm going to call the stream. I'm tired. The dogs are all passed out, thank goodness. I mean, we could keep going for a while, but yeah, I think I'm going to call it. So anyway, guys, thank you for joining tonight. It's been a very fun time. I hope you've had fun. We went for an hour and 44, almost 45 minutes, and we went pretty well here. Let's grab my OBS so I can see what I'm aiming at. There's one of them passed out right there. that's the husky, Athena, and then the other two are in the room next door, passed out on the couch probably. So they are all asleep right now. It's very peaceful in here. So yeah. Anyway, guys, thank you for joining. You can tell I'm getting tired, can't you? Anyway, guys, thank you for joining. I enjoyed it. Thank you for all the super chats, which I think was only one, but still, thank you for that. So thank you, Steve, because he was the only one that gave me one. But thank you for the super chats, and I had a very fun time, guys. Thank you for joining me, chatting with me, and all this stuff. And I think we're going to basically end everything up. No barking dogs. That's good. Yeah, because they're knocked completely out right now. So anyway, guys, that's the end of today's video. Thank you for joining. And move. Thank you for joining. And this has been a Rock Mods video. See you guys.